Sketch, what's up, bro? Good morning. It is. But it's not done. That's just the underpainting. So that's layer one. I probably add about 2 layers of details to it. So I'll paint the entire canvas 2 more times. So what I did was I just prepped 3 canvases. So this underpainting is ready to go. Just finished that underpainting yesterday and this underpainting. So now since everything is dry, we can come back and start adding all our details and everything. Yo,
Yo,
good morning, bro.
good morning, man. How are you doing?
I'm chilling, man. Trying to get some breakfast in real quick. How you making out?
Got you. Going to work about like 7. Now I'm in the cafeteria. Literally, no one is around, so you know what already. Put my iPad out,
Mm-hmm.
start working on my shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Yeah. So is that something that you usually do? Do you like prefer having like um working on like 2, 3 canvases at a time? Because that's what it look like to me.
Yeah,
You know, part.
I always try to have at least 3 paintings because because of the drying time with the oil paints. So if I'm working on, if I only have one canvas, if I only have one project that I'm working on, I'm gonna get to a point where it's too wet for me to do anything.
Okay, yeah,
So
that
I
makes
might as
sense.
well work on something else while that one is drying. And so I figured like the easiest way is to have 3 of them. So that way you're always constantly moving, you're always constantly have something to work on. And once again, if you get to a
Yeah.
stopping point, set that shit to the side, work on the next one. And so once I get one, if I'm working on 3 canvases and I get one all the way completed, then I go ahead and start another canvas, and so I can keep those 3 in rotation.
All right, all right. So would you? Is there a point where you tired of actually working on one specific one, and then divert to the other?
Um, Not really. Not that I get
No.
tired of working on it, but I just try to keep it whereas I don't have any downtime. So
I
it's
see.
not that oh I'm tired of working on this one, but I can see what you mean because sometimes honestly like so the order that I did these in, and I'm not gonna lie, bro, about this one. So I prepped this one first. I prepped that one second. That's the last one I prepped. But
Okay.
honestly, I'm excited to get to this one. I really want to start working on that one, but it's the third one in the order, so I gotta go this way, and then that way. But
Is there a specific why do you do it in that order? Is it because of the drying time as well?
yeah, that's the drying time because this one is the most dry. And then, like I say, since I just see that's still wet.
Yeah, that's where.
Yeah, so just the drying time. But if I finish this one, that one would be dry, so I could like put this one ahead of that one. I normally just try to stay in order, whichever order I prep them in.
Okay, okay.
But yeah, sometimes I do be really excited to get to the next painting. But
I can do
but all 3 of these right here, I think I'm gonna have fun with because it's something that I don't normally do. And I think people look at it a little different. So I'm anxious. I already see how it's going to be in the end, but I'm anxious for other people to look at it and
their
try to connect
perspective
with
on
it.
it.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'm ready to get the conversation started on these pieces already.
Let's see. Also, they are they all linked? Are they all like an actual story?
Yep.
History? All right. Okay, that's interesting.
It's
Interesting.
it's not even
What
half of the story. I wanna.
Anunnaki civilization type of thing?
Hmm.
Is it the Anunnaki civilization type of thing?
Yep.
Yeah, I got
I'm
you.
gonna put 6 or 7 pieces in this to try to tell this story. So these are the first 3, but there's a lot more content that I have to add to the canvases so you can kind of see the story. You know, if you look at these 3 canvases together, they don't look like they actually have a connection or a link between them. But with the other canvases, when you look at the entire set together, you should be able to kind of tell this story with it. So, or that's what I'm hoping will happen.
Yeah, Prince, I definitely see that. Are we expecting a storybook or some kind of written version of this?
No. Somebody else told me that I should try to add a dialogue to this story, but I
I
think
mean, painting it is actually your dialogue, right? So while you're
yeah,
drawing it, you're giving out the story. Okay.
I like a picture worth 1,000 words. So
Agreed.
if you can do it right, I'm excited for the black sci-fi movies. Oh, that's what's up, yeah. The paintings look like a beautiful landscape for an Afro-futuristic movie. Um, kinda. But the thing is, what if this was actually our past? What if our past was way greater than our present technology? And that's what a lot of people don't really consider is maybe we're not behind you. Somebody's behind you.
It's alright. It's
Okay.
cool.
Maybe we're not at the very apex of civilization. Maybe we are the remnants of a much greater civilization that has already collapsed, and we're still trying to rebuild ourselves from the ashes. And so it may not be like this grand future situation, but maybe it's a more ancient past civilization. It was way more advanced than we could imagine. And so I want to try to tell that story because once again, when you look at uh, the ancient megalithic cultures like Teotihuacan, Pumapunku, um, Gobekli Tepe, the fucking Easter Island, like all these people were able to build incredible things that we still can't figure out today, yo. We still can't figure that stuff out today. So I think that older civilizations were more advanced than we are, and ancient man looked at these people as gods when they probably weren't gods. They were just part of a different civilization, a different kind of beings, but not actually gods, but just more advanced than we are. But when we tell our stories and we say, "Oh, these people came from the heavens and they came and gave us knowledge and taught us agriculture and how to make metal and all this other shit," and they were like gods, but they probably really weren't gods. They were just something different, the Anunnaki.
Because recently, actually on my way to work, there was this talk show where they were discussing the the future of AI, which I'm sure you've heard thousands and thousands of times. But this guy in particular said that if we tend to regulate the AI, right? If we tend to regulate, then we're not literally moving forward. We are really is on a streamline. But what I'm saying in relation to your work, right, and your perspective of how these monoliths were built, if we increase, and that's my theory, right? If we increase AI technology, isn't that going to disrupt the idea or the belief system of a human race that we are not going to be ourselves anymore? Everything will be done on a separate platform, which is AI. Is that what we're looking forward to do? Is that something that you're looking forward to see in the future? Because to me, it doesn't sound right. It sounds like we're giving life to something that we created, but at the same time, we're being lazy about it. Sounds like it.
That's always a hard thing to try to reconcile because the simple fact that we're not in the Stone Age anymore. We're not using flint rocks to make arrows and daggers. We're not, building huts for the most part. So mankind has always progressed to something better. We came from the Stone Age to the Bronze Age and the Iron Age to the steam engine to the internal combustion engine to space travel, internet, and telecommunications like this. So for the entire existence of humans on this earth, we've always tried to make things better for ourselves. And now that we have this AI and this robotic component that we're trying to advance, I don't think we're going to stop. We're not going to stop trying to make things better. There's something in us that just drives us forward and tries to make everything a little better, a little easy, a little more streamlined, a little more useful, a little more helpful. And now with this AI component to it, we see all the benefits of AI. We also can imagine all the negative aspects of AI, but that doesn't, I don't think that we're, as a collective, we're going to stop trying to make that better. We want to advance it, make it smarter. And so are we, is this our destiny? Are we preordained to create something better than us? I mean, once again, if the Anunnaki created man, who the fuck created them? So there's always something else. So whoever our creators are, we're just trying to emulate and copy that and put forth our own creations. And our own creations may be even better than we are, even though it's not biological or not completely biological. We're just trying to eliminate all of our shortcomings and all of our ineptitudes and create something that's more perfect than we are. And once again, in a lot of aspects, it seems like a very positive thing. In a lot of aspects, it seems like a very negative thing.
Yeah.
But when you look at our history as a whole, I don't think we would ever stop trying to make something better. And so I don't think AI is going to stop. I don't think robotics are going to stop. I think in the near future we'll have autonomous artificial general intelligence that just learns like a regular person, where we will have humanoid robots or androids or whatever you want to call these things, because a lot of people feel like that's the best way for us to make our initial step off of this planet. Everybody says, well, we need to be on a different planet just in case something happens, and we only have our one home. So if this is fucked up, then it's going to fuck all of us up. So we need to diversify. We need to traverse the stars and try to find other places to live. The easiest way to do that it would be to send a very intelligent, smart AI system to the stars ahead of us and let them go out and colonize and find all the best places and then report back and like, hey, humans, y'all can come here or you can go there. And so just once again, different aspects like that will always continue like to push the forefront of technology, and I just don't see it stopping. And everybody was like, oh, we need to pause on AI and we need to really consider the ramifications and what we're actually doing. But if America pauses on AI, that doesn't mean that Germany and China and Switzerland, they're not going to fucking stop with their AI programs, because they already know like whoever has the best AI can dominate this next part of our future. And this is so the internet was a very major
Yeah. Yeah.
like invention, and it changed everything. It changed everything we know about the world and how we operate within the world. And
Yeah.
people who control the internet, Bing and Google and all these other people who have massive influence over the internet. Um,
They definitely profit out of it.
exactly. So now we can see that part, and so the same thing is with this AI technology. It's going to change the way we relate one to the other just as much as the internet did, if not more. So nobody's not going to want to stop and pull back and slow down. And whoever does pauses or slows down, they're going to get left behind because everybody else is going to
Yeah.
continue to innovate and continue to try to be more creative with these new technologies. And so nobody wants
Yeah.
to get left behind. And that goes back to the same, that first comment is, we always want to make things better. We always want it to be newer and faster and smarter. And that's why we get a fucking iPhone every year. And that's why we got the PS. We're on the PS5 now. When the PlayStation 1 was a fun console, we could have just stopped on the PlayStation 1 and left it right there. But no, we got more technology. So PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, 4, 5. The same thing with this AI. This is generation 1. With this AI technology, Chat GPT, and all of this shit, we're basically, this is all PlayStation 1 type shit right now. So imagine in
Yeah.
30 years, 40 years, when we're on version 4 and version 5 of these algorithms and of this AI machine learning. Like I say, we're still in the preliminary phases right now, and
We're still in the beta stages of it. Because
exactly.
I remember I was following this guy on Instagram as well. His name is Don Allen, um, and he was the one who kind of introduced me to the whole AI concept, right? And he was also preview to the very early stages of it. So then I kind of hopped in. So whatever he was doing on his live was only um, permitted to him, and he was doing amazing stuff with his AI, and that was way before Dolly came out and Chat GPT. So he was given the access, right? And then almost 2 weeks later, it was public, and then after those 2 weeks later, 3 weeks, a month later, it's now like now you have to pay for it. So you could see that how fast the commercialized part of it came through, and they realized that because now as consumers they were like, oh shit, this AI can do much more than me. So let me just go ahead, pay for subscription, and there you go. But here's my other um thought about it. As humans, we tend to be drawn into the commercialized world, right? Um, how can that disrupt? How do you think that can disrupt um, us as humans, giving this type of information to the masses? And we're talking about the masses that will eventually use this tool as more of a money making thing for them and not for society. Because as artists, I generalize, as artists, we I'm sure you're using it as a reference, right? You want to get
It's a tool.
reference.
You got to use it as a tool.
As a tool,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what do you think that they could do to not monetize, but kind of prevent the negative from entering? Because since we're at the early stage, we can kind of foresee what can happen, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I want to acknowledge Cosmic Jedi. He said solutions are plenty, though technology is supposed to serve and improve. Also, no one has a divine cosmic monopoly on technology. In fact, nature is the number one, is the first technology, and this is all true, bro. Nature. Well, I wouldn't look at nature as technology, but the way nature interacts and all the fundamental functions of just the natural world is definitely amazing. And it could seem like a machine or a type of technology. Also, I think there is a divine cosmic monopoly on technology. Uh, we can get into that later. But also to mitigate the negative effects of implementing AI globally is that these companies would have to share with us, just share the profits with us. Like you said, you went from a closed alpha to an open beta to a paid service in less than 3 fucking months.
Yeah.
And from a closed beta alpha to paid service in a few months, you guys are making exponential amounts of money off of this stuff. This is where like some aspects of universal basic income could go into play, where these big tech companies are raking in so much profit off of this stuff, and they're not really there's not a lot of effort needed. There's not a lot of hard work needed. Most of this stuff is binary code algorithms that's basically making the world more streamlined and more efficient so that there is more money. And so just share that with people. And I think there was one tech company that said, it would be willing to give dividends out to the public from open source material. And so I think that's one way, is that everybody should be able to benefit from it. If this thing is going to rapidly change our entire world, every culture in every society, everybody should have some little piece of this thing to help increase the understanding and livelihoods of everybody around the world. And also, I think a lot of it should be more open source and free to the public, so that people who try to use this stuff to understand the stock markets or make stock tradings easier for them, you may have to have a paid subscription for stuff like that. But everybody should have access to the robots. Everybody should have access to the AIs. Everybody should have access to everything, so that everybody's on an even playing ground, and it only comes down to your creativity. You got a tablet, I got a tablet. You got AI, I got AI. Now what we gonna do with it? You know what I'm saying? If I'm more creative, if I'm thinking outside of the box more than you are, then I'll come up with an idea or something that may be a lucrative business proposition or anything. So I think that giving everybody the same opportunities, letting everybody have the same access to these new tools and new technologies, and then telling people, okay, now it's up to you. How creative can you be? How can you use these tools to benefit you? And so it's kind of like that Elon Musk with his Neuralink or Neuralace, and it's like, oh, it'll make people smarter, and you can operate your computers through your brain. But that technology will be so expensive if it worked perfectly. If this technology did exactly what he wanted to do, there was no negative side effects, there was no downside to it, everything was just all positive, and it functions and operates nicely, it would still only be accessible to people who could afford it. And so, this technology can make you a super genius because you would have the internet and AI directly implanted in your brain. Okay, but who can afford it, and who would have access to it? And so people would have a leverage over others. And so, like I say, my thing is everybody should have access to all the same shit. And the big tech companies that are starting to rake in major profits off of this stuff, they should have some kind of way where that shit is split up, and dividends can be given out. If it's not just the stockholders or shareholders, but to the citizens, the people in general.
Yeah, I'm hoping that this that it could be shared in the light that you said. And but I've realized, and time, experience, and history has taught us that humanity has this tendency to um, idolize themselves, and that's so and that's the scary part. Me being a a caring person, I see it. I really do see it happening because people do stuff subconsciously, and it just comes out for them. But then again, I have to be optimistic about the future. I have to be optimistic about everything in life, especially with this AI, which I think it will be a remarkable revolution for humanity. So this is where my thoughts stay. Um, Man, but we as artists, we have a bigger task at hand, if you know what I'm saying. Especially those who are still in the traditional sense of it.
Mm-hmm.
We have a way bigger task, and it's a lot of pressure, man. It's a lot of pressure because now I have so much ideas that I want to put out, and I have to figure out like how am I going to give it? How is it going to be digested as it relates to other creators, or am I searching to get other audiences which really don't know what I'm doing in terms of visual? But it's I go off at nights, man. When I sleep at night, I think of all those things, man, and it's I'm happy. I'm happy that my brain is still working without AI.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like I say, man, as we artists see the world different, man, we can see like the finer details and the underlying implications of things where most people just have this very superficial view of their own reality and their own perspective of the world. But like artists are sensitive to this stuff, you know what I'm saying? We're sensitive to our environments and to the world as a whole. So we have to document this thing and let people know how it felt. How do we feel about this? You know what I'm saying? And we have to record that and take notations of all these experiences and how they're shaping the world and shaping our emotions. And so I really feel like right now is going to be like a really tough time to create meaningful art because the world is so complex and there's so many different uh, layers to our own subjective reality right now. And so to just peel back every layer and figure out like where you fit in, what part of this thing are you going to try to focus on and blow up and expose and shine light on so that other people can kind of like slow down and focus in on like some of the more important things that we're going through, because if not, everything just going by and rushing so fast and the world is changing so fast that it's hard to keep up and everybody can't, everything just whizzes by and we don't take time to like focus on like every individual component, because all of this shit is adding up to something, and where is all of this stuff taking us in the near future? But,
Yeah, but I mean, it looked like we just need to focus on ourselves as self, and
yeah.
then it will, and then those who like the universe doesn't lie, it really attracts people towards your art. So I don't think um, commercializing myself to a point where like I'm giving Instagram money every week to advertise and get random people to my shit like that. I don't think that will work because man, it's a catch 22 when I look at it, man. It's so much to build, it's so much to take in, and I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm about the money. For now, I'm about the money. The ideas and everything is there, but I'm about the money. I need to get out of my situation that I'm in. So it's about the money for me at this point. Hopefully that changes, but I'm gonna be real with you. I want to collaborate, and I think in collaborating, I think we can get much more like-minded people. That's how I look at it because it has been individualized for a very long time.
yeah. Have you ever seen a podcast hosted by artists for artists?
And I've seen those, man. I've seen a lot of those, but it's just you see the questions that we talk now. That is not being introduced in those conversations. Um,
I don't know. Every podcast I see is about relationships and all other kind of woo woo shit. But like We need like some
There's a
hardcore artist conversations, yo.
yeah,
We
yeah.
need to share like the conversations we have, cause our shits don't never be superficial. We try to get down to the meat of this shit. So we need to find a way to share our conversations with people, man.
It's crazy. It's crazy how that came up because I've been thinking of how can I get that type of information out, but the person that I am, I've never really found someone who will, a like-minded person like yourself will sit down and will chop it off and feel that it's relevant to give it out to other people. I feel that that's not right in that sense. What I feel is right is that the relevant information that we have in the conversation should be dissected and given out because people tend to look at well a lot of social media we don't tend to um, make it our responsibility to how would I say to get the information in context. We always get like snapshots of certain things. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's like reading the Bible. If you were to read the Bible in one verse, people always tend to send you to one particular verse.
Yep.
But then behind that verse, there is a whole different concept.
So
you know, and that changes everything.
I think we have all been trained. Now this is I'm just thinking this for the first time now. We have all been trained for clickbait. So everything we see is always so snappy and so catchy, and we feel like that's all we need. Because I ain't gonna lie, a lot of the times when I look at the Google News, all I do is read the headlines. You know, I'll read the headlines. So many soldiers bombed in Gaza. Kanye West does new sneaker deal, and so that's most of the things that we read and we share and repost. But like you say, how often do you get down to like the meat of that, and way past like the superficial shit, and try to break it down, get into the nuances and everything. And most of the time we don't. You know, it's just very very surface layer information, very surface layer material that people share. And like I say, there's a lot more to it. You just can't read the one Bible verse and think that's the clickbait, that's the headline in John 3:16. Okay, well, what does it say in John 3:13, and then what does it say in John 3:20? Don't just give me John 3:16 and don't tell me what's above and below that. I need more context. I need more information. I need more meat to this shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, and most of the times when you put all those contexts together, they tend to be conflicting with each other as well. So you're confusing much more than you're actually teaching that individual.
Yep.
Which is why I think that, like right now, if we were to record this and we dissect it in terms of artists' algorithm, so like for example, if if I were to give a sentence, right, and within that sentence there is this word, um, paint. So we get the algorithm to get that conversation where we said paint, highlight it, and then top it up and then send it out to other individuals. Maybe that will get them, but the idea is to get them to come and watch the full context.
Yeah.
We don't want them. We don't want them to get the snapshot of everything. We want them to get the full context. That's what I believe in.
Yeah.
That's
Mm.
awesome, though.
I used to do it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I used to do a TV show where I would interview other artists and.
Oh yeah, I think it was this auction thing you were doing, right? It was.
What else?
I think you were doing some kind of auction or some kind of stuff like that. I remember.
No. I would do like I had a kind of like a legit show. It wasn't live, but it was on our local network. And so you could just turn your TV on and go to our local channel and find it. But
Yeah, I remember it sometime. I've never really dove into it, but
Yeah,
yeah,
hold on.
I remember. Weird. Oh yeah, 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 okay. Prince, okay. I remember this one.
Welcome to another episode of Electric City Television's Roundtable Discussions. I'm your host, Travis Prince, and today my guest is Eric Bassard. Hey, Eric, how's it going? Hey, Travis. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, dude. So, really, really big honor to have you here. You're kind of like one of my favorite local artists. So, for the viewers who aren't familiar with you, just tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you're from, where you grew up at, what school you went to, something like that.
30 minutes?
And so yeah, so we tried to do like roughly a 30-minute conversation, and it was just me and one other person, but I haven't done that in a while. I did like 18 or 19 episodes, and it's been
That's
over
pretty good, Prince. That's pretty good, man. Shit.
yeah, but it's been
It's
over
pretty nice and
it's been over a year since I've done it, but I want to start back doing that again because like I said, this was it. It's just me and one other artist, and we have a conversation. And let's talk about art, dude. And believe it or not, it was kind of hard to get people to actually come on the show.
which is why that brings me up to my next point, because in situations where you do not get someone to come on your show, you could have like the conversations that we're having, right? That in
Mm-hmm.
itself can be content.
Exactly.
Because yeah,
And so I think it'd be easier for like a podcast setup instead of that traditional interview style setup. It's what people like to see now, and then on top of that, it's not me constantly trying to find guests to come on the show. It's because that shit is like pulling teeth. And I know like
yeah,
I know two art buddies that are local, and they're really really good artists. They're really good, very talented people. They do not want to be on camera, bro. They do not. They don't like it.
that happens.
They don't like it, and I asked one of them like 3 times. I'm like, dude, just let people need to talk. You need to talk to people and tell them about your process and how you got started. He's like, nah, I'm good. Nah, and so I feel like instead of trying to always find a different person, different person, different person, different person, if it was like this, like two hosts, and we always can have our own conversation, and then we don't technically have to find people. We can talk about different things in the art world, different things going on in the community, different other subjects from pop culture, from history, and then if we do have other guests on to add other people into the conversation, but it wouldn't necessarily always require another person for the podcast to work, so that's why I think like if I can set it up that way, I won't have to have guests all the time, because that's why I really stopped doing the show. After interviewing like 18 or 20 people, I couldn't find everybody else, and I'm only local. And then people was like, well, you can do a Zoom version and talk to artists from New York or artists from Georgia or wherever. But my thing was just trying to like shine light on local people and let people know there is a thriving art community here. But that shit
Yeah,
gotta expand. I gotta do shit. I rather have like not I rather have, but I definitely like these conversations with a serious artist who has deep thoughts and deep insight on being a creative person.
yeah, absolutely, man. You said something earlier where your art buddies, they don't really like to be um on camera. I'll be honest, bro. I don't like to be on camera that often. But you see, as long as I can enlighten myself in the process of other creators, I'm happy with that. I don't like to dive into a whole bunch of shit. As long as it's art related, that's my shit. You know what I'm saying? At work, maybe when I'm doing my reels and shit, like I try to put some kind of art intentions in there, you know. Um, but as long as it deals with art, man, and I could give it some kind of valid points, or someone can listen to me and what I'm saying and give some extra feedback, I'm cool with it, bro. I'm cool with it. And I would say you definitely have the skills more than capable of doing it, because it sounds like you're a one-man army. You know what I'm saying? You got every fucking shit. That's amazing. If you only had this second version of yourself right next to you, man, I could tell that you'll be popping off. Um, uh, but you know, one thing I noticed about artists, bro, they're private.
Very.
Artists are private, and I think we should, or you, I would say, you should consider that. Um, and I really don't want to see you burn out anymore, bro.
Oh,
The burnout is real, and I know what it feels like. The burnout is real, and you need that energy as it pertains to your actual artwork, and that's another realm that nobody else knows but yourself.
oh yeah.
So when you give all that energy to other people, and then you stuck in your own shit, like, nah, bro, that's not right. That's definitely not right.
No, yeah, cause like you said, the burning out, that shit ain't good at all. I was almost there. Like I said, I was a board member of an organization, but I had to step down from being from that position because it was too much, you know. And I was I couldn't, like you say, I didn't feel like I was dedicating enough time to my own craft, and I was like, nah. And then trying to juggle a board position, my regular job, my art, a relationship, like that shit, it'd be too much sometimes, yo. And then, like you say, you gotta see when you need to take that step back from certain things. And like you say, just being a creative person, you're in your head a lot. Motherfuckers think all the time, and that shit just make it tough. Like even in my relationships, like I'm hard to date, yo, because I do focus on my art a lot, and I've even been told like, "Yo, you put your art first. You put your art before me," and I'm like, kind of. And
Yeah, you need to. You've been chosen for a very particular path that is very narrow, very small. No one is on your shit. Like that's a life you chose. Well, subconsciously, that's a life that you chose. So whoever is going to be involved with you from then on have to realize that, yo, you're not the only one, bro. Like this 14 by 16 canvas behind me, that's my bitch right there. I'm about that shit all fucking night, like literally, right? No homo type shit, but
I'll be trying.
it's really our passion as artists. It's really our passion, and I really don't know how else to say this, but the passion that we have for art is undeniable, unconditional. No one can understand it.
No, I've said that you can't explain passion to nobody. Like if you don't have your own passion, you will never understand me. You won't. You can't understand me if you're not absolutely passionate about something, anything. You'll never get me. You're just you don't understand because I can't explain my passion to you. And this is
It's like a picture worth a thousand words, right? It's like, hey, so what do you do? Oh, I'm a painter. Really? And then when you show them the painting, they'll be like,
oh
you have nothing else to say, right? Like,
exactly yeah yeah
Um, but again, in like since we're on that topic, right? I feel that, um, and I'm struggling with it. I'll be honest. We need to, as artists, there, there are there are steps that we need to take, incremental steps that we need to take to keep our mind at ease and keep our passion running. If I know for myself, right, I tend to jump on projects almost on an instant. As long as inspiration comes in, like we jump into it. But that in itself is a burnout. To me, it's a burnout because now I'm like, oh fuck, do I have the materials that I need to hop on the next project? And sometimes I really don't, but I just hop onto it. And when I get to a point, a 5% stage on that project, I'm fucking burnt out because I'm like, fuck, I thought I could have done this, and now I'm sitting back worrying, thinking about what the fuck am I going to do next.
Yeah.
Which brings me to my next point. And I think that since you're an educational person, that you could involve practical steps for artists to evolve. Practical. Practical being that, yes, there are times where you are going to be inspired by other works, but you need to stop yourself and focus on that one thing that you're doing. Secondly, your relationship between your family, between your friends, between your co-workers, they all different, and you all have to you have to be at the stage where you could identify them and give your energy to that one specific one. Because believe it or not, man, on a daily basis, I'm at 100, right? When I get up, I give 30% to my work, and the rest is to my art. I'm gonna be strict with you. And as long as this, you see, if this fucking 30% goes down to a 15% and it's like maybe 12 o'clock at work, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me for the rest of the fucking day, bro. Because I'm about to snap or just lose my job, bro. I'm gonna be real with you. And that's why. And you see, when that happens, that's when I realize with me, that's when my creativity sparks because I'm trying to get you. I'm now trying to say, oh man, we need to relax, get some humor out of it, and that's where some of my reels come from. Because majority of the time, I'm at work. I'm frustrated, bro. I really don't want to be in it, but I have to find some means and some way to keep that spark, keep that creativity, and that's where some of the videos come through. And people find it funny, which I really like, but I really want y'all to see the 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 relativeness in terms of artists. You know, this is the 9 to 5 artist type of world. As much as I don't want to be in here, but I have to be.
That's what it takes. You know? Yeah, I feel you. The whole time you at work, you like, all these hours I could be somewhere creating some shit, yo. It's just like motherfucker, yo. And then on top of that, that's something else that people don't really realize too. The life of a working artist, like once again, you got this deep passion, but I gotta support myself. I gotta buy groceries. I gotta pay my fucking rent. It's like it's a lot, bro. And that shit do get to you. And I don't know. I feel you, bro. If I could step away from the workforce, I definitely would. I got two art buddies that I just admire them because they don't have jobs, bro. And one of them, my man refused to work, bro. He refused to work for anybody, and he's a mural artist. So he does big ass murals all the time, and every once in a while he'll complain about finances and be like, I'm broke and this and that and blah blah blah. I was like, dude, just get a job. He was like, I don't think I could do that. And so
something doing something out, man. I know.
I mean, I admire their tenacity, but like it just
yeah, exactly. There are certain things where you you're really not subject to changing. You know, you have to adapt with the flow. You have to. I'm not trying to put down any other artist. I know how it is to be based on a 9 to 5. Some of them, just because of their mobility, they cannot have a 9 to 5, but they're very they do like very high skill artists.
yeah.
There's things that you can do now, sell online, have a e-commerce business, or something as it relates to art. And that's the type of role I want to take in moving forward to 2024 because if you don't have some kind of passive income coming in some shape or form, then you're really not surviving.
You're not.
Because if you realize just a few years ago, COVID-19 really gave us the reality check. So are we going to simply ignore everything that just happened just a few months ago? Nah, bro, I'm paranoid. That should make me paranoid, man. And evidently, the digital form is the way to go. You know what I'm saying? What we're doing right now, content, monetize those fucking shit and get some kind of money out of it. If not pennies, at the end of the day, it's gonna come up. And by the way, Prince, don't worry about your 18 episodes that you did. The fact that you have 18 episodes on YouTube, that's a milestone, bro. And I'm a pat yourself on the back for that shit, because it's not easy, man. Recording this, getting people to do it, getting your own time out of the way to do that shit, bro. You're killing it. But I know deep down inside, bro, you really need that extra boost. And if there's anything I can do as a other artist, send me a DM, send me a message. I'll surely put my 2 cents in. You know how I'll get down. Sometimes it is what it is, bro. We have to get something done. And this is not the first conversation we have like this, right? So I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, man. Let's do some collaboration. Is the key for 2024. Fuck that shit, man.
Definitely. So, like I say, man, this I feel like we are dedicated enough to this thing where we'll be all right.
Yeah, we'll be all right.
Yeah, I don't got no doubts in that. Like my main goal is, I ain't gonna lie, my goal is to retire at 55. But
congratulations on that shit.
My retirement is pulling away from the workforce and being a career artist. That's what my retirement looks like, where I can just support myself from the artwork. And so each year we just take every opportunity and every step and stay focused to like gear ourselves in that direction.
And you on your path, shit. You're living back some kind of your portfolio. Your portfolio is a snapshot of that retirement. You know, you'll definitely be at that point. Bro, as it comes to freaking work right now, I need to leave because a whole bunch of Russians are in the mix. Look, let me show you this motherfucker.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Everybody in your conversation now.
Yeah, but it is what it is, man. It's about art. They have no idea what it is we're talking about, to be honest.
Yeah. What do you do?
So right now I'm a mechanic, right? So we build the new trains. Those are the R211 trains in New York City. So right now I'm a subcontractor, which means I'm hired by Kawasaki. And Kawasaki hires Americans to build the train, and then they send it off to the NTA. So,
oh wow.
Yeah, so basically I'm like a technician doing all the new shits on the new trains, which I'm very fortunate to, by the way. Not a lot of people could get into that, but I'm fortunate.
I agree to say that sounds like a high skilled trade right there, bro. Like, goddamn.
I think the application part of it is enough for everyone, or anyone can do. It's just a bit of dedication and being able to work hands on. I mean, you need some kind of knowledge, but my artistic knowledge kind of covers all of that. It's a very easy stuff to do. I'm sure for you'll be a guy, I think, that will work on functions. So you'll be responsible for more diagnostics and computers and stuff like that. You know,
people don't realize how like a creative person, like we're mechanically inclined as well, yo. Because that's all just design. That engineering is just design. That's all it is, yo. Like
it is because initially at school I always wanted to become an industrial designer.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I came when I moved to the US, um, obviously my credentials were not at that level to even continue what I would like to do. So I kind of fell back into the regular 9 to 5 blue collar type of work. Um, I'm not happy in there, but it definitely gives me the opportunity to look forward for a brighter future. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can do at this point. That's all I can do at this point. Bro.
That's what it is, man. Use the job to support the real passion. That's until the passion can support itself. That's all we can do, man.
But man, I wish we could talk longer, but duty calls it. You know what I mean?
Yo, every
Fall
time,
out,
bro.
pass out, stay blessed, and everyone who's listening to this um, live right now, please have a conscious effort to become a better individual every single step of the way. Peace.
Peace, guys. My man, Sketch. True artist. True artist, yo. Always appreciate when he stops into the live because our conversations are some of the best. You know what I'm saying? We have really good conversations because we both on the same tip right now. Making art and making the art make money. So and he's younger than I am, and but he is definitely motivated and a very consistent artist, a very talented artist, very talented young man. And like I say, he's on the grind though. Luckily, I'm to the point where if I sell art, I sell art. If I don't, that's good too. For right now, you know what I'm saying? I'm just really trying to build these catalogs up. Um, Try to delve into as many different topics and concepts as I can, and just continue to make the proper connections and meet the right people. And I feel like consistency is one of the main key points. So I use the Prince's 4 P's, which is passion, patience, practice, and persistence. If you use those 4 P's, and persistence is just um, a synonym for consistency. Um, when you're not motivated, stay consistent. Do it anyway. If you do that long enough, you'll build up habits and routines. And if you can keep those habits and routines, people will see your effort. And if you're good, people will start making requests and stuff. And that way, your passion can turn into your livelihood. But it won't happen if you're not consistent. Um, and I'm not always motivated. I'm not gonna lie. Right before I started this new series right here, I was really considering taking a break for a while because I wanted to close out the reader series for a few reasons. Excuse me. And then when I started talking to some art buddies and kind of explaining to everybody's like, well, no, don't do that. Well, don't stop the reader series. And I'm like, just for a minute, and it was like, no, we need more. And I'm like, but I wasn't really sure about this next series I'm working on, honestly. I'm sure about it, but I'm not sure how it will be received. but then just to get over that and just once again, I have to like the art first, and I'll let everybody else figure that shit out later. I have a series that's currently on display that I almost didn't show, and once again through having conversations with some other art buddies of mine, like some really good deep conversations. I I decided to show that series, and a lot of people are really connecting with it, and so I've been doing that for the past few years. Where I'm hey good morning.
Good morning, Travis.
How's it going?
Not so bad. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well this morning.
So this is the first time we're meeting face to face virtually.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So for anybody who wants to know, my name is Mark Peterson. I'm the executive director of the Hazleton Art League, and I just want to say, first of all, that I admire your work, and I see some influences, perhaps, by Kahindi Wiley, and some interesting aspects of your art. For example, the pyramids. I have an artist friend in California who is doing pyramids in his artwork as well. And I'm curious to know, what are some of the challenges that you find working as an artist in Northeast PA?
I don't know. I think my biggest challenge is that I produce strictly portraits for the most part. Portraits don't sell very well. I produce large scale portraits. Large scale paintings don't sell very well in this area. I produce large scale portraits of black people. That doesn't sell very well in this area. People really admire the art. They admire the themes that I'm trying to put forth. They admire the technical ability of the art. They don't want it hanging in their house. That's the only thing, you know. So when I do exhibitions, have tons of people come out. But once again, and also the pricing of my art isn't very good for this area. So most of my pieces range from $5,000 to $8,000. That's not going to sell here in this area at all, and so I'm okay with that though. Once again, I produce art for the passion of producing art. I think some of the themes that I touch on, they're not necessarily there's a lot of gaps in contemporary art. I'm trying to fill some of those gaps with different themes and concepts, and so I think that's the most important part, is if I can inspire, maybe spark conversations, get people thinking about things they've never thought about. With the reader series, my main point with that was to introduce people to literature that they may not have heard of, or authors that they're unaware of. And so with the reader series, I've been working on that for about 10 years. This critical race issue thing in public schools has come up in the past 6 or 7 years. So when I look at this reader series, I look at it as pre-critical race theory. So I was already trying to expose people to this conversation way before it became a national topic, and so I think that's the important thing with what I'm trying to do with my art now is get people thinking. The hardest thing about being an artist in Northeast PA is selling art.
I think you'll find that true of a lot of people in areas that aren't major metropolitan areas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I sell way more commissions, and I'm fine with that. Because I feel like I can do commission artwork cheaper. You give me a picture of your dog, I paint a picture of your dog. I can do that for a couple $100. But when it comes to my own themes and my own ideas and my own concepts, I feel like that's where I have to charge. Not saying that I'm some great genius artist, but I do feel like if a creator actually pours themselves into their craft, you should be able to. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. I was getting I think I was getting a phone call. Hold on.
You're back. You have a halo, a glow about you.
Hold on. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
I was yeah. My son was trying to call me.
Technology is a wonderful thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We have found a similar situation at the Hazleton Art League where we have a lot of fine artists and the paintings are priced appropriately for the talent and the scope of the work. But when we do sell paintings, it's usually in the few $100 price range or less, and that's what people do. But we have exhibitions every month, with the exception of December, January, when we run it for 2 months so that we can take advantage of the Christmas break. And right now we have a wonderful exhibition by our top members who had got awards for their artwork in the 2022 show. And if you are so inclined, I would love to invite you and the people who are watching this to come to the Hazleton Art League at 31 West Broad Street in Hazleton to check it out. And we're looking to get people involved more on a community level too, as opposed to just having an art exhibition. And that's something that we want to excite people about. February, as you know, I'm trying to get together artists from the community, African American, the African diaspora, the Caribbean community, to celebrate the Black History Month as well as the Dominican Republic Independence Day. We'll probably have a celebration there. I don't know if you've ever been to Hazleton, but the population is a majority Hispanic and primarily from the Dominican Republic. So we have a lot of interest there for reaching out to everybody to bring in all sorts of cultural influences. And we have a large population of Ukrainians, for example, and we have Italians. I mean, it's a wonderful mix, and Hazleton's always been that way, and it hasn't always been easy, but it certainly makes things more interesting. And
Oh yeah, I've been to Hazleton a few times. I've actually purchased a when I first moved to this area, I purchased a vehicle in Hazleton, and uh, I purchased it from this small auto dealership, and the owner was Spanish, and then went to the tag and title place, and the owner of that business was Spanish, and then I stopped somewhere to get something to eat, and the owner of that business was Spanish. I was like, there's a lot of Spanish people in Hazleton, and then I was reading something that said even the high school is like uh, 1/3 English second language, and I was like, it's really diverse over there. I'm in Wilkes-Barre. It's really diverse over here, and I don't know. I like it because on any given day, like you say, you can see people from all walks of life, all different cultures, all different backgrounds, and it's uh it's interesting. I'm because I'm from a small town in South Carolina where it's pretty homogenous down there. So being in a diverse area like this, you get to experience all different cultures, all different people, all different types of great food. And when it comes to the art scene, there's so many different um, types of artists, and it's Northeast PA is a nice place, yo.
Right. Well, one of the things that I want to do as a part of the arts community is to push the envelope a little bit. I am a big fan of contemporary art, so art that you wouldn't necessarily want to have in your living room because it makes noise or something like that. So that's one of the things that I like to do, and challenging people's perspective on art as well is also something that I find interesting. And one of the things that I think is